Let's paint Sheriff Mittens today. And how are we going to paint him? Well, we're going to prime him with an ash gray can primer. This was done way back. He's been sitting on my table for a while. And we're going to be using some good old Warpaints Fanatic, starting with some Tree Ancient. This is a very dark reddish brown. We're going to be doing this on the entirety of his rocking chair. And if you guys haven't seen that nice picture of Bernie Sanders sitting outside with his gloves on or his little mittens and a mask on during the pandemic, you guys have been living under a rock. And so I love the fact that Simon decided to poke fun at it and make a miniature of it with Sheriff Mittens here. He's sitting in his nice rocking chair with his nice little mittens, wearing a nice little mask. I mean, back in the old West, there must have been some plagues going on too, right? Anyways, moving on to our next color is Paratrooper Tan for his pants. This was much lighter than I was expecting, and I was like, okay, so what can I go lighter? So there was a lot of thinking behind this miniature of I was going to do some highlights and like a whole bunch of like layers and stuff like that. But in the end, the way I put the wash on almost creates exactly what I wanted in the highlights already. It darkens some of the areas. So having I find the ash gray underneath, which is a darker gray than usual. Well, no, actually it's not. It's not the uniform gray. That's the darker gray. This is the lighter gray actually, which can be used with speed paints, by the way, to make it a more warmer style of speed paint job. But I also love using the Fanatic's paints again, and I went back to the old West here. This is from Undead or Alive, the Zombicide game. It's not as popular of the Zombicides, I don't think, in my opinion. It is one of the harder ones so far. I haven't played the old ones again, Black Plague and all them. I haven't played those in a long time. I should play those again. I miss playing them. I would love to be able to compare. I wanted to actually do like a whole journey from Black Plague, Green Horde, Old West, then Normal, and then Invaders. Like do like a storyline arc, sort of like that. Anywho, but it would be cool. But I think this one is one of the least populars. It's the videos that get the least watched on my channel. A lot of other channels too that I've seen, people just don't seem to really care much about the Undead or Alive. But I figured this one would be fun. You know, it's just a spoof miniature. I have a few more from the Kickstarter exclusives. I didn't keep everything because I found having like 20 different townsfolk to do the exact same thing pretty much. So I just kept some of the cooler ones, the stuff that had different things in them of each type, because there's townfolks, brawlers, stuff like that. And I wanted to have different you know, options as well. And if I wanted to, and I kept I think 6 of each, maybe have 7 or 8 of, I don't know, maybe 1, but I just want to keep a few of them so that when I play, it's not always the same miniatures every time, because sometimes when you play a miniatures game, it can end up looking very similar. It's not, there's a lot of replayability, but a lot of times I find you're always doing the same thing. So at least having different characters on a board makes it a bit different. And especially, I mean, having a guy in a rocking chair, I don't know, like, it's just like, how does he move along on this table? Everyone else is either standing, walking, you know, or something like that. But this is just funny that they made one like this. And that's, you know, my hats off are to Simon again for the quality of their miniatures and the details they put in, and the little spoofs like this. I love that. Anyways, if you haven't checked out Zombicide Undead or Alive, take a look at that online. There's tons of stores online that sell this. It's just a lot of fun. I know I went through a lot of the colors here. I'm sure you've seen what I've been painting. This one here, the buffed hide, was for like the little pillow or whatever, like the cushion and the like stuff like that, like anyways, from the, or maybe it's a blanket or whatever on the actual chair. So there's not much of it. And then I'm using some Dusty Skull, which is a strong olive brown, which doesn't seem to be very strong olivey to me when you're painting. It looks very light. Anyway, sometimes it's hard to determine what the colors are when you look at the bottle, and when you start painting, it's very different. But it does a good job doing the coverage again. Warpaints Fanatics, man. Wow, the coverage is just unbelievable. And these are on a wet palette. My brush is wet. I'm not even putting that much on my brush, and the details stay. It doesn't go on globby like the old paints used to do. And other paints I've used, like the old Vallejo model colors and that, I found that they went on too thick and covered up all your details. This, you just nice and push it on there very gently, and you get to keep all the nice details of the folds in the clothing. Look at all the fur You know, you don't hide anything. The face even, there's just a little bit of his face showing with glasses, and his glasses are there, and I was able to actually find the rims of the glasses with the matte black at the end. I don't show that on screen because I had to get really close up and look at it, and you would have just seen the back of my head, which is probably a bald spot now, but maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, you would just see the back of my head looking right at this miniature, so I didn't want to record that for you guys. You don't need to see that. But you know I do his glasses with some matte black, and you'll see it in the picture at the end and in the rotating screen as well. Using a little bit of metallics. Again, they're metallics. If you've seen my Iron Man video, they're watered down this time. They're a lot less thick than they used to be. Okay, this is where the magic happens. I put some light tone and some medium wash, or wash medium all together, and a little bit of water left on my brush, and I just gently glaze this all over the miniature, and it gets in all the little nooks and crannies, just doing a nice effect of shading. And I find it does an amazing job. Now you're going to see I did something cool with the base, or you may not see it too well, but I actually put on some foam. I ripped him off at the bottom. I put some foam, XPS foam, made it look like wood, and yeah, finished that off with that on the miniature. It's the first time I actually pull a miniature off its base to do something like this. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you all in the next one.